starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house as always. And hey, surprise, surprise, surprise. We've got a special guest on today, Crypto Graphics. Yes, the one and only. So we're going to talk to him very, very shortly. I hope you guys are having a good time out there. And we got a bit of a whale selling on PulseChain right now. So, just wait for that to sell out, and a few more $1 million later, and there's going to be discounts for you. So definitely check that out on old Hex there at the moment. And of course, once he does the Hex, got to sell the Pulse, right? So, July is going to be a little bit of discount month thanks to the whales. And I'm sure we're going to push pretty much higher after that, maybe 2 weeks' time. We'll keep a lookout for that. All right, so let's have a look here. We got Sean O'Malley, morning all DCA, the lows. You won't see them again for a while, scooping up whale splashing dips. Yeah, well, looks like we might have that for up to 2 weeks is the word on the street. So, definitely pick up the DCA, and then, maybe by August, after the SEC's final nail in the coffin, we might really start to run away on the old PulseChain. Keep a lookout for that. And of course, if ETH keeps pushing higher, we're going to have the old magic carpet ride money get to break even at least. So that would be a good sign. We got Brian in the house there. Woohoo! Good to see you, Brian. Hedgehog as well. What's up, folks? Good to see Hedgehog. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you're on X, don't forget to share the show around on X. It just takes 1 moment to hit the repost button. Also do that for other influencers, I always say as well. Just helps with the algorithm, pumps your own bags, as we say. So get out and do that. It only takes one little repost. We've got Hex Grader as well. Hey, gang. Good to see Hex Grader. Hope you're doing well. Smash the likes and share. Absolutely. And of course, Titan Joe in house there, loving the green circles. I know someone else who's sitting in the green room loves green circles. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We got Hex Grader as well. Hey, B, good to see Hex Grader. Hope you're doing well also. We've probably got some awesome conversation coming up with Crypto Graphics. Of course, he's just launched the Torus on TitanX, and man, it is impressive coming out of the gates. And I think it's just the quiet before the storm. Really does look pretty impressive. So without further ado, we're going to pull up Crypto Graphics and say hello. So welcome, Crypto Graphics.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun. It's been a wild few days, hasn't it? To watch these numbers rolling in.
It is. It's I said to you in the green room, I said, watch me if I laugh at certain moments as we cover this, because of some of the things that are going on with that protocol. And what I think is going to happen with it. So yeah, it was pretty hilarious. And I was doing that before the show, before you even arrived. I was looking at it and I was laughing at certain things. I was going, oh, I think this is going to happen and that's going to happen. It made me laugh. But we got UFO in the house. UFO has landed. Good to see you, UFO. Big shout out. A new Superman movie has arrived. Yeah. We call it Woke Man. But anyway, I've been watching a few reviews on that. Obviously, the theme of the show is Crypto Night Show, and I'm your host, Superman. So yeah, it's just the way it goes. What else? We've got a good bunch of people in there. If you guys want to, definitely share the show around, and we will post all the links to Torus, as we're going to talk about that the first half of the show. And of course, Crypto Graphics going to comment about that, and then second half we're going to get into the usual show about crypto and PulseChain and some of the stories around the big whale selling at the moment. So that's kind of the second half of the show. Crypto Graphics, should we just get into it?
Let's go, man. There's so much to talk about. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So let me just jump out of here and jump over to Torus. Make sure I'm on the right page. And bam, here we go. So obviously, once again, beautiful site. And you've done an amazing job with the UI, UX. Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. So where would you like to start? Because this is the pizza. This is the pizza. So much good toppings on it. We start. I just, just creating Torus. Should we just do a brief, 2-minute overview of it, just to give people that are not familiar?
Yep. Let's do it. I'll break it down as simply as I can. Just give you the quick little, all the mechanics, how they work, so you can operate the dApp. So there's 2 actions in Torus. Torus is kind of like Bitcoin, where the supply is emitted over time and actually daily. And so if you're creating or you're staking in Torus, you're earning that supply. And creating is more similar to a mining-like action, where the higher the prices go, the more profitable creating becomes. And if prices ever go below that threshold in the system, there is a threshold, I should say, then staking becomes more profitable. And if you look at the staking ROI, you'll see right now creation shows an estimated of crazy number. And I'll explain this too here. But the staking ROI is still quite high. And so if you want to come into the DApp and you want to participate, you can use either Titanx or ETH. You need to deposit one of the two to create. And you're going to need to simply go into the power section, and you're going to type in the power up to 1 million all the way down to 1. Any number in between 1 and 1 million. And for every 1 power when you're into the DApp with Titanx, it's 1 million Titanx that you can deposit. The earn length for both staking and creating is up to 88 days. And the main difference between staking and creation in terms of the actions is, in creation, you are depositing only Titanx or only ETH. And to stake, you need to have Torus tokens. You need to either buy on the market or you need to have created. And then you can come to the DApp and you need to stake your Torus amount, as you can see on the left side there, which you need to type in. You need to type in the days as well. And you're going to pay a small fee in either Titanx or ETH in addition to Torus. And this is one of the things that makes it really unique. Both actions are 88 days in maximum length, and you have a 14-day window which you can claim in. So once you selected either the Torus amount to stake and the length, or the power and the length, and either Titanx or ETH to deposit, then you just scroll down a little bit. You click create or stake, depending on which action you're taking there, and you will see your stakes or your creations down here where Superman is right now. And of course, this is the staking page. You go to the creating page, it's all right there as well. And there's a whole lot more to it, but this is the quick and dirty. This is how you operate it really simply on a very fundamental level.
Yeah, it's fairly simple from that point of view. In terms of making, like you say, if you're going to create Torus, you can either use Titanx to do it or use ETH to do it. The ETH will go and buy Titanx, right?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the cool things about Torus is, if you're coming in with ETH, the moment you click create or stake, some of that ETH immediately goes and buys and then burns Titanx as soon as you create or as soon as you stake. So it's immediate feedback into the Titanx price chart. That's
fantastic. And pushing up the price of Titanx then.
Yeah, exactly. Every buy is a push up on the Titanx price.
Nice. All right. Very cool. All right. So that is create. And then, of course, if you can buy off market, with there's not relatively speaking, not a lot of tokens on market. So you can buy on market at the moment if you were to do that. But of course, generally, you're going to be creating at the moment, right?
Exactly. I mean, and the reason I'm going to say agree with that is, if you look at the deposit amount and you see that it shows, you can ignore the 10 billion Titanx amount. Just look at the dollar figure there. It's going to show you, for the cost of $2,000, it's going to create you up front. This is what you're guaranteed. Currently, it's worth $5,600. So remember that $2,000 is creating you up front, $5,600. Now, if you go over to staking and you look at the cost, right? So 998 tokens is worth $5,600, and it's going to cost you another 100. So basically, you're going to pay almost $5,700 to get into the system to earn the same amount of tokens. If you now look at the estimated earn Torus there, if you now flick back over to the create, remember 63,500, 63,500. So this is the big thing. You got to come in the system, look at all the costs and the cost basis for everything, and really calculate, okay, how much am I putting in? How much am I getting out? And you'll see quickly which is typically the better route. Now, there's all sorts of strategies you can do, but that might be for another conversation, because there's a world of opportunity and strategic thinking in this DApp.
Yeah, so before we get into that, as you know, we'll probably just do the high level stuff and have a look at some of the results. So that's how you get in the system, basically. And that's some of the yields that it's offering at the moment at the current market price of Torus, which we'll get into also. But actually, let's, before we get to we'll come back to the burn as well. We'll go to the stats, I think. Let's go to stats. And we can see the market price at the moment is $5.69 for Torus. But we got this massive pull. What is this all about? $568,000.
I know, it's kind of, you look at it, you scratch your head, and you go, what? And this is a real number. Now, this number is, remember at the beginning, for all of you that are listening, this is what I talked about as the supply that's emitted daily. So this is the third day now of that supply, but it's only looking at today, or the next payout coming at the end of tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST. So basically, I guess it would be 18 hours into the future from now, you'll see this 99,840 tokens get distributed to everyone that's either staked or created in the system. Now, the big thing to understand is the reason that number is so big is because of the price of Torus. Torus is $5.69, meaning you have to multiply the market price by the amount of Torus being paid out at the moment. And Torus is quite high priced right now. So, I mean, I didn't think we're going to see Torus pool payouts this big. I thought we would see at most half of this on launch. So,
yeah, well, I was expecting a relatively high price appreciation for the first 2.5 weeks. It's kind of some of the indications I had. Now, that may be a bit on the lower side as we get to sort of the end of the second week. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I had a thesis on this, and one was people were going to get it, and they were going to go in and they're going to create, and then the system is going to stay around its initial launch price. And the second thesis I had that I was leaning more towards, which was people that are going to come into the system, because there's two options. One of them is new. One of them is pretty classic. It's called staking. Everyone understands that, but not everyone will understand creation. So my thought process has been, and it's playing out, this is why the price is doing what it's doing. A lot of new people that are coming into the system are buying and staking, pushing up the price. This is really great because this helps the system as a whole. It pushes the value up. Look at us talking about it and be like, holy crap. It's like, it does a whole lot for the system. So I think this could be a trend that we see in the future where people just don't quite understand the creating aspect. And because they don't, but they still see a crazy high ROI in staking, they go for the staking aspect. So they're buying it up off the market, and that's going to continue to push the price up.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that was the question mark part though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the big question mark part. And now we're seeing it. And I'm very curious now because I'm starting to see a trend of people that are getting it. Like they're really starting to see there's more and more of people that are coming and I just finally got it. I created. And I can see how on average people are starting to get it and come into the system. And I think this is going to be a trend we're going to see in the next week or two where it's going to really start to ramp up. I mean, I'm hoping, but I really do feel like that, especially when you look at participation.
You're front running my laughing because that was where I was going to laugh because that's what I was expecting to see. So I was just going, oh, that's because we're going to look at some of the charts when I'm laughing about it. So let me get to that. I'm front running the laughing part, but anyway, this is a serious show, guys. It's serious.
We're trying to be serious here.
Why so serious?
Exactly.
It's going to be. I'm expecting a big pickup, actually. I think it started amazing. That's why I said it's really started amazing. But I'm expecting people to get it, as you say, and hear about it as well. It's the other big thing, right?
Yeah.
Lots of education around how it works and the rest of it.
Right.
So we've got the stuff here now. We've got a little timer at the top there, so we should probably go through that because it says day 3, 6 hours.
Yep. So that timer there is telling you from when day 3 started, it starts at 0, and as it ticks up closer and closer and closer, when it hits the 24-hour mark, the timer resets. And that means the next day will now tick over. The next day's payout will go to all stakers and creators. And then you'll see here, day 4 payout or day 4 Torus payout. It'll be a new number. It'll be slightly less in the total number of tokens. And it'll be a different number here. That's the big, bold Torus pool payout number. Could be higher, could be lower because it depends on the price tomorrow. But
the value will depend on the price of Torus, and then the Torus itself is going down by how much? 0.08% a day, is it?
Exactly. Yep.
Is that right? Yeah. So that balance is actually going. So that's up 100,000 on day 1, and it's gone down now to 99,840 on day 3, and it will just keep going down at that percentage every day on a smaller base, of course. But that is the play. And of course, when you get paid, when the clock ticks over to 24 hours and you get on to day 4, it's going to come over to the earn page and it will show up under your earn Torus, right? That's where your Torus will show up. So your created Torus that you get straight out of the gate is here, and that will show up under created Torus. But when the clock ticks over on 24 hours, you'll then get part of the earn Torus, right? Which is 1 day of however many days. If you did 60 days, it's 1 of 60 days. And that will just accumulate every single day the clock ticks around 24 hours, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
And on that note, just real quickly, so that big number and the estimated Torus, the reason it says estimated Torus and also estimates drop as new participants join, you have to realize that this is for the full length that the system is looking at. If no one else joins as of right now and the system stays exactly as it is, this is what it's expected at the end, which means it'll accumulate a chunk every day. So if you want to find out what the daily ROI is projected at on average, what you would do is you'd actually take this number and you actually divide it by the earn length that you have here. And we're actually talking about possibly putting a toggle so people can do daily or max ROI here so they can see the difference, because that's one of the things that I think people are misunderstanding. They think that as soon as they create or stake, they're going to get the ROI, but it comes in chunks over time to add up to the bigger number. And so we're looking into doing something like that. But making sure, it seems like people are starting to get it, so we might not need to, but I just want to have that disclaimer there so people understand how that all works. Nice.
Appreciate that, Rock Surge, reposting the stream. Get out there, repost, folks. Let as many people know about Torus as you can. This thing is, I don't know, it's amazing, and I'm excited about it. And yeah, it could also be the catalyst that fires off Titanex a bit earlier than later as well. That's a possibility. We don't want to guarantee anything, of course, but definitely with momentum and with the ETH buys, etc., definitely helping contribute towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just wanted to jump over to, let's quickly go through to the rest of the stats. So you obviously got this reward payout every day. So it's a really great indication. But we've got the distribution already, and I'm very happy about this. This was to the upside of expectations. So I'll let you talk about that. It's 81% liquid and 17.7% staked. And that's that staked amount that's particularly pleasing. And then we've got also some burning starting to happen as well. And then we've got the total supply, 19,810. So that's not total minted though, is it? So
No.
that could be a nice metric to have, total minted, but it's optional. But
right. And that will come out once the people start claiming their stakes or their creations. And that is gonna grow. Remember, the max total supply, guys, is 125 million.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just the beginning right now. On that note of talking about the total Torus supply, so of that 19,000, wait for it. Like you said, the staking contract currently has 1,672, and the Torus Titanex liquidity pool has basically 14,000, which means the liquidity pool has 1% of the supply. So 9% of the supply is currently locked up that's available right now.
Wow. And we got people sniffing out the price, sniffing out the chart. So we got people doing this buying off the market, and it's giving us a price of what, $5.68.
Yep.
And then we've got people also staking that Torus, because really that's the only Torus that's in existence, right? Was that initial, apart from maybe a little bit in day 2, 3, or day 2, I guess.
Yep. Exactly.
Day 1, day 2. But that is, we got this amount staked, 3,500 staked already in this context early on. That's the surprise to the upside.
Yep. So that means basically 17,000 tokens are staked, or either in liquidity pool or staked. So those are off the market. People can't sell them. They have to only sell out of like a couple thousand tokens, a few thousand tokens total, which is insane if you think about it right now.
Well, the question is, if we're seeing a bit of that now, how much more we're going to see that over the next couple of days and so forth. That is really bumpermentals to me. And so I know, as a founder, you only, I guess, can only say so much, but I'll say the rest. we got the staked amount, 70.7. That was so pleasing, honestly. I really like that, and pretty impressive. So that's kind of the overview. It would be cool, probably, just from my point of view, since is maybe eventually get a chart on here with the minted. I mean, it's something in the future, but that'd be nice to have with the supply numbers. Yeah,
noted. I will put that down
just at the bottom there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Let's jump over to the burn, and of course, this is very exciting because this is just another pumpermental. And so I think this has started to slightly kick in, hasn't it?
It has started to kick in. Because the balances are, relatively low right now. It's not going off all the time, which is honestly fine because the market is doing its thing. And I mean, we don't really need the buy and burn when there's no supply. Like to be honest, right now, it would be potentially an interesting time to do that when the market is showing that there's demand and that it actually wants to buy it. So it's been operating it's operating perfectly, but it's also operating not as often as it should or as you'd think it would, because as you can see, there's only so much in the contract right now. And this means that the setting on the buy and burns is set to the low right now, which is basically saving it for the right time at the moment. It's still
1%, right? 1% of the balance.
1%.
Okay.
Yeah. 1% of the contract balance per day, which means it's divided into 144 intervals. So if it's $600 a day divided by 144, it's only a few bucks every call, which means that if the user reward isn't high enough for people to click it, it's just not going to get clicked for a while, right?
So that's probably also interesting. At the moment, we've got, I think yesterday we had a bit of a peak in gas prices. Went to 8 gwei. I think we're back down under about half a gwei or something at the moment. Last time I checked. But of course, if we get into this big bull market, even with the second layer protocols, we can expect some high ETH, right? So how do you expect it to operate then?
Well, once the ETH starts climbing in value, the contract will be constantly updating that 1%. And again, that 1% can change at any time, right?
Yeah.
It can be changed all the way up to 10%. And that's for each of these four. So you have the ETH buy and burn, you have the Titanx buy and burn, which are two separate things. You also have the Titanx buy and build and the ETH buy and build, which are both liquidity building contracts. And so those can individually be set to between 1 and 10% at any time and really kick things into high gear.
How do I word this? Do you expect those to operate together, or do you expect those to operate separately?
Well, you just have to think about, okay, when's the most appropriate time for, especially for the buy and build specifically, right? When you're building liquidity, you really want to try and build the liquidity at the lowest price possible. It's within reason. So that way, you are giving a nice floor of support that's not too high, not too low. There's somewhere in the middle there. And so it's finding that right place that is hard to say, but it's more just looking at, okay, what's appropriate for the protocol at the time? What does it need? And honestly, that's impossible to say at the moment. We have to wait and see how things are shaping up, what the market's doing, how participation is going, all these different things. So it's kind of a non-answer, but it is as much of an answer as I can.
Could we answer it another way? Could we say, would it be a chance that somebody might have a certain way of modeling this out? Is that fair to say?
I could say that there's been a ton of
scenarios and
there's been a ton of consideration into all of this, and all of this is very intentional.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back into the buy and burn. So we've got the buy and burn balance is 18,800.
Well, that's just the ETH. Yeah. So if you actually, and because if you have, I believe if you go command or control minus, it'll shrink the screen one and it'll bring them both up on the same window. I've noticed that, if you go, there you go. So now you'll see them both there. Mm-hmm. So this is the buy and burn. The buy and burn has $100,000 in Titanx. And $18,000. So basically, we're sitting at $114,000 in the buy and burn, and we're sitting at what are we seeing? And can you go to the buy and build as well?
Yeah.
And we're sitting at 95,000 essentially in the buy and build. So we've got basically 200K already sitting in these contracts that can only buy up the price of Torus. That's freaking cool. And we also have a guaranteed amount at the 110 day mark, which is in the fractal, which I think is another 50K.
Yeah. I counted 260K before the show.
260K sitting in the protocol waiting to go to work.
And we're only 48 hours, 54 hours, just over 54 hours into the protocol.
I honestly, given where we are, kind of the state of affairs, where sentiment has been in the general space, where Titanx has been, where the community's at, I think this is phenomenal. I could not be more happy with how things are operating. And it makes me really excited, as we were talking about initially, when people really get this system, what might happen.
Yeah. So let's go from let's jump over to Titan X price. This is the Titan X price at the moment on the 4-hourly chart. Let's go to I guess the daily chart. But that's the chart at the moment. So essentially, really, one would argue that we're coming off the bottom, arguably, with Ethereum going up and all the momentum. So that's an underpinning of the value of all this Titan X and this buy and burn too.
Yep.
So we get big moves in Titan X, then we get big, and Ethereum we get big moves in the value of the buy and burn as well in US dollar terms.
Yep. If this market starts doing what markets can do, I mean, these are going to absolutely skyrocket, and that will be used for significant marketing. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, looking at the monthly here, this is the monthly on Titan X on US dollars. Oh, so wrapped ETH. This is wrapped ETH value.
Perfect. Yep.
You can see it's starting to bounce off the wrapped ETH value there. And in terms of US dollars, I don't know whether it's going to default back to daily. Yeah. On the monthly on US dollars, it's also pretty attractive. Let me just log that. Oh. So it's coming out, arguably coming off the bottom. Has obviously haven't broken out yet, but certainly positive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it looks fantastic. And
so, I mean, 2x in that, so 2x in the US dollar value. We suddenly get $500,000, etc. 3x, the three quarters, etc. So pretty exciting.
Well, and if you go, so I've sent you. I don't know. Do you have the Dune dashboard that Mike released?
I do. It's
do you also? Yep. And I wanted to go to that. We can go to that whenever, but I would love to go to Titan X stats. It shows the full picture easy at some point. I sent it to you in the private chat, and it shows, because I mean, they're both going to say similar things. The Dune dashboard is going to show more of the user centric data for utilizing or making decisions for creations and stakes. But if we go to app.titanx.win/stats for all you that want to follow along, and you scroll down, what you're going to see is Torus is already in the number 8 position. It is currently sitting at 1.5 trillion Titan X that's entered the protocol, and it's already burned almost 72 billion Titan X. That is huge.
Yeah, massive.
For the first couple of days.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I know you did a live stream about 6 or 7 hours ago, just a general Titan X hangout.
Yep.
And Torus was sitting at number 9 at the time, wasn't it?
Yep. It's already climbed up.
Flipped to number 8, so it's already gone past over Lotus. It's just underneath Vault. But I'm sorry, Stevie D. I think your days are numbered. I think your days are numbered there, sitting at number 7. So, yeah, and that's true. You too, the dude, for Helios. I know that you guys are good friends, but it's coming, unfortunately. It's coming. But, those days are numbered. And, of course, if you switch it around to some of these other numbers, like locked, you can sort of see the position at the moment. I was thinking you're actually up here somewhere. Where'd you go on this one?
Oh, I wonder if there was a lower arrow or something on there to make it easier. But
have I got it? Oh, yeah, I've got it on the wrong version there. So where did it go?
Am I at the top? Are we the second?
Torus number 2. Yeah, it's Torus number 2. So it's actually number 2 locked, which is just awesome, right?
Wow. There we go.
Yeah. And it's only the big, was it modified liquidity fork of Ouroboros that's up above there with the collateral. And, of course, let's go to the LP. And I think you're pretty much number 6 here at the moment. But, you're about to flip Shogun, for goodness sake. Wow. And I think Hyper's days are probably going to be number 2 at this rate. We're only on 54 hours, did we say?
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
I think the days are numbered for this one. I think even for Tink, the days are numbered. So really, Vault and Dragon X, I guess we'll wait a week or something, but they could have a target on their back. So pretty fun. It
really is. And you got to add another 410 billion Titan X to that liquidity number that's there too, because that's what's dedicated specifically to the buy and build. So it's going to flip Hyper. It's going to flip Shogun. It's going to flip Tink.
Yeah.
And it's going to be third in line after Volt.
Yeah, and that's that's essentially where we are today. So in a week's time, who knows where we will be?
Crazy to watch.
Yeah. So Taurus there, racing through the ranks there.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So pretty cool chart. Yeah, and this has just come out, right? This Mike Dean dashboard.
Yep.
But before we get into Mike Dean's dashboard, which has got so much important data, if you're in Strategy Club, by the way, you have already got all these links. So definitely check that out. I know a number of people from Strategy Club have jumped in to Torus already. So we're excited about where this is going. And of course, you haven't joined up with Torus Strategy Club, links in the video description. Join up today. All right, so let's jump into some of these cool things from the community. This is from JD Browju and posting out these cool little ROI pictures from the protocol. What do you think of these? They're pretty amazing.
They're being used exactly as intended, and it's one thing because I was sharing these in testnet. It's another thing to see other people posting them, and it's special. It's like it's actually doing what it was designed to do. And it's not to say that there won't be volatility at some point or another. It's how these games go. But it's just cool to see people actually seeing these kinds of ROIs exactly as it was designed to.
This is one of them. Here's another one. So there's another one here. This is the Crypto Keeper, 364%.
Sick. I love it.
So pretty awesome. And I think I've seen some people talking about 500-600% out there. Some of those. So pretty incredible. And of course, yeah.
What that's probably from is because that's probably before the day ticked over to number 3. So okay. I bet you now it's like 500-600%.
Wow.
Actually,
yeah, that'd be about right? So that's kind of how it works with these payouts.
Yep, it just slowly or quickly, in this case, ticks up. Like, so I did a test transaction of $10 and it's sitting at 687.5% currently.
Wow. And that was with $10.
That was with $10. It's currently worth $77.
$77. yeah, exciting. Well, that's perfect. That's perfect to be using as an example of how it starts from top there. But yeah, you basically, whatever your ROI, you're getting that divided by the number of days that you've got on your creation, right?
Exactly.
That was pretty awesome. So that is, so I think we've gone through everything there. Obviously, you can buy Torus on the side as well.
Yep.
So you can buy that there, guys. It's got a limit order as well. And I think we've covered that on the link. I think the links to that's in the video, in the chat there. I think Brian posted it. So yeah, that is Torus.win. So that is the website. So if you guys want to get involved, you can use ETH or Titanx to get involved. And of course, there is also docs down the bottom and all the contracts, right? So there's all the contracts down the bottom for Torus and etc. There's the docs. We'll briefly go to that. So it's got all the docs, and I always suggest, like any protocol, read up about it, get yourself comfortable with your understanding. Hopefully, we've illuminated quite a few things on the show. And then you can, decide yourself whether you're going to get involved. Of course, nothing is financial advice on these shows, but it is looking, from my point of view, a very awesome protocol. So that is some of the stuff there. Now, before we get into the, I also got the socials as well. And of course, Cryptographics will be doing video after video, keeping you up and dated about Titanx and of course, Torus as well. So don't miss any of those shows. They're pretty amazing. And that is that. But I want to get into the Mike Dean dashboard. But before we do that, let's get back into the chat and see who else is in here. Get your questions in as well. I don't know. This is a new thing here. I don't know.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it go.
Playing around with that. So let's pull up a few of these comments. Get your questions in if you got any questions, guys. Let me see here. We got quite a few people in here. Definitely smash the likes on the way in. M says so bullish on Torus. Shake and bake. We got Matt in the house. Hey Matt, good to see you. Wookie, good to see you as well. Wookie is here to ride the Torus. There we go. We got someone in on the Torus there.
Let's go.
Let's see some of these comments. Gonna bypass all those. Let's see there. Scrolling down. Welcome, obviously, Frank White to the chat. Duke of Booze. Cheers, everybody. Chin chin. Repost the stream. Appreciate that. Big shout out for that. It's almost three times the number 3. You have to remember that Torus never ends. It wasn't a one and done system. What else we got there? Awesome example on the returns. Yeah. If you got your creations and get them out, post them out on X and social media, it really is really powerful and helps a lot with getting everybody on it.
Please do.
Yeah, Brian there with the 5 memberships. Big shout out for that, Brian. Thank you very much. Pound for Pound got a membership. Tin Top got a membership. Check My Pulse got a membership. Media Player got a membership. Nash got a membership. Congratulations to you all. You all got the nice little yellow stars there. So
That's
big
cool.
shout out. Once again, Brian, thank you very much. Cuballer, morning all. Congrats, Steve, and good to see you, bud.
Thank you.
M says, check out Investor Logic supply updates. You might have to hunt that down.
I can find it.
Super bullish. And that is Strategy Club link there if you guys want to join up today. And of course, we'll be covering Torus in full on there. So get in there. As soon as I find the information, I post it out in there. So awesome stuff. Yeah, I'll actually try and pull it up actually on Investor Logic. Just give me a second to do that. And let's pull that. I think I've got Investor Logic here somewhere.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's right on his profile, second from the top.
Is that Investor Logic?
I can even put it in the private chat if you want.
Yeah, if you could do that. Yeah, I've got the link here somewhere. I'm just gonna
done. It's the last one I just sent.
Oh, sweet. Sure, I had it here somewhere. You posted it somewhere, did you?
Oh, I put it in our private chat on the stream here.
Oh, I can't see it.
I'll send it to you on Telegram. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, just one moment. One moment, caller.
Yeah, please hold.
I actually thought I had it here, but not showing up normally.
Just on Telegram for you.
Oh, here it is. I've just found it just as you said that.
Perfect. That works.
It works as well. All right, so let's get into that. All right, we'll kick that off before we get into the actual Torus June report, dash report from Mike Dean. So let me pull that up as well. All right, so I guess you can read through it, cryptographics, if you like.
Yeah, let's do it. So Titan X supply update. Things you should know. Torus is absorbing massive amounts of Titan X in only 2.5 days, or only 2.5 days in, and Torus already has close to 1.5 trillion Titan X deposited. And actually now we know it's actually more than 1.5 trillion. Since this is how fast things are going with Torus, guys, is he wrote this tweet, I don't know, handful of 20, 30 minutes ago, and already it's increased past that. So could this catch fire like the early days of Titan X? Yeah. Ethereum is pushing $3,000, and due to LP pairing, this pushes Titan X prices up. As a result, other Titan X protocols could become profitable again. Now, reminder, Jake in K Knows is still building. The OG and founder of Titan X. Don't forget that, guys. And about 15 to 20 other builders building protocols you don't even know about yet. And this is very, very true. Hard not to be bullish. Titan X X28 is about to be the king of the bull run. Never been more bullish. If you love updates, you know what to do. And then he's got all the stats here, which I'm sure are going to be spicy.
So that is some of the balance there. Yeah, so we got all the details there. I'm going to post a link to this in the chat there if you guys want to check it out.
That is wild to look at.
Yeah, that's the Titan X ones, right? The Titan X stats. Let me post that in the chat if you guys want to check that out. Thanks very much for Investor Logic's update there. Bam, there it is. All right. Now, let's get into Mike Dean's chat there. We're going to post that out, I guess. We'll repost that one. Let's get out into Mike Dean's dashboard, which has only just come out, right?
Yeah, it was like a few hours ago. He was like, hey, what do you think? So I'm like, holy crap, that was fast.
I'm just going to refresh there. So total US combined. This is from 54 minutes ago, the last update. I guess it's an hourly refresh possibly. And it was at $342,000 combined. ETH deposited 16, Titan X 1.47, so it's gone past that already. And we got the total Torus. Future max supply is 8.8 million. I guess that's something you could talk about.
Yeah. So what that means is this dashboard looks at when people create, you generate a little bit up front that you're guaranteed at the end of your creation period, but you're also earning from the system. And so it looks at, okay, with people that created in the system, how many tokens are they going to be able to claim from the creation, as well as what they are likely to earn based on the Torus pool looked out or being looked at to the furthest out creation by this dashboard. So the total expected to supply by day, I guess it would be like around 89, 90.
90, yeah, I think it's 90. Yeah,
About day 90, 91 would be about 8.8 million at that point. That'll be the expected supply before anyone stakes, before any moves happen. That'll be the future supply by day 90.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get that a bit bigger, maybe.
If you click, see right where the daily Torus token unlock volume title is on that chart. If you click on that, right.
That one there?
Right. If you go down right below that one there, that should blow it up.
Nice. All right, so that's day 90. These are the current. So everyone is going long, and this is the way the yield's designed, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Because if you change the yield on a creation, for example, or the staking, it dramatically comes down. Just a day can wipe off 1,000%. So it's really driving the tokenomics is really driving this long minting, and that's what we're seeing. So can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah. So the big thing about this system is the share system. In others, it's not as difficult. Like it's more linear, and there's some bonuses you get for staking longer, but it's pretty flat, right? Like in the Hex system, T shares are T shares, but you get a bonus if you go past 10 years, all the way up to, I think it's 350% or 3.5x. But with Torus, it works on an exponential scale, meaning if you stake for a day or you create for a day and you create 1,000 Torus, you're only going to get 11.36 shares. And if you create for 88 days to create 1,000 Torus, you're going to get 7,744,000 shares. So it's an exponential curve in how much of the pool you get the longer you stake. And so that's why you see these massive differences in a day, 2 days, 3 days in the ROIs. And you'll see that perpetually.
Right. Okay. Now, interesting enough, it was obviously day one here. Everyone's gone at it's just under 4.2 million creations there, and there was stake token unlock apparently 35,000. Can you speak to those differences in the candle?
Yeah, so that is what the system is expecting based on the current data that's out there right now for unlocks to happen on that day. What I'm curious to see based on this chart, what I would expect is if people start creating like crazy over the next while, that unlock could change, because what this is looking at is right now, this is what's expected to be received by these people in the system at the moment. But if a ton of people come in after, those people that are currently expected to see all that supply coming out on those days are actually going to be reduced, and it actually defers that supply even further out into the future and decentralize it, meaning there's less supply in more hands versus there's being more supply in less hands, so to speak. So it'll be really interesting to watch how this plays out, because there's so many different dynamics that we're used to, but are just slightly different, slightly, more unique, that we're gonna have to watch and see how it evolves in real time.
Yeah. So I see that this is what maybe was laughing was when I was looking at this chart in particular earlier, was that the second day was down here at 1.7 million. Remember, we were expecting just over 8 million at the moment.
Yep.
And it went down. So I don't know, expecting a bit of a U shape in this chart at the end here as we move forward in time, day after day in the weeks ahead.
Well, it depends. If we get see, here's the thing, that can be reduced. The sooner more people come in, that wick or that huge bar, it comes down because it's getting dynamic. More. Exactly. Yeah. And what you'll see is that will come down and the future creations will start to go up. And so you see it kind of level out, right? Because
that's an important distinction. Yeah.
It really is. This is not a fixed thing where you like in Titan X, we know that there's going to be 20 billion or 20 trillion coming out in one day, right? Or 2 trillion. Like that can be deferred into the future. And that's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so that's taking into account all the pools every day.
Yeah, it's looking into the future right now, and based on who's in the pool and what they're going to get based on current participation, this is what the unlock looks like at the
But is
moment.
it taking into account how many days does it take? Is it taking into account 91 days, or is it taking into account the whole rundown in the pool in the future at 0.08% a day?
It's only taking into account the most recent creation or stake at the moment. So right now, the furthest someone can stake out, because we're on day 3, is I believe 92 days now.
Yeah.
91 or 92, 91 days, right? So that's why we're seeing 91 as the last date on that chart. But tomorrow it'll go up to 92 and keep going and going and going throughout time.
So it's time bound. It's not the profile of the payout decline.
Exactly.
Per day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's very important. So yeah, we're going to see that change a lot. Okay. Let me just go back to the top here. And I just wanted to come back out. So we got 8.8 million at the moment. So where do you expect this number to go then as we move forward in time?
So it's going to slowly tick up. The first 88 days are designed to give 8.5 million tokens just from the Torus pool alone.
Okay.
The second 88, and this is not like, it's not cyclical, but just from the beginning, the first 88 days is going to give up 8.5 million plus the created tokens. The second is going to be 8.1 for the next 88 days up to 176. Then it'll be, I think, 7.7 or 7.8 million. And it will slowly be reducing over time until it finally inflates to about 125 million in years down the road.
Yeah. And you can find those charts on the docs with some of the basic profile things, right?
Yep, exactly. They're all there.
All right, so that's pretty cool. And what I was going to say about that was, so we got this max. People have gone max a first day, but we've also got people going earlier, trying to what we call front run, or alternatively, you could call it a laddering kind of approach. So what do you think of that? Is that kind of what you expected? Is it over or under where you might have expected it to be?
I mean, honestly, this is cool because it's what I could say I would expect if I assumed that people would understand the system even moderately and understand how the share system works. Because once you understand the share system, it's really risky to go too short. And so you don't really want to go for like a 10-day or 12-day. Like it's quite risky. So this is like the kind of conservative approach that I would expect people that are looking to average out over time and also experiment and see how the protocol works, right? Because you don't really know. And going all in on one strategy could go really well or really poorly, depending on, what everyone else does. So this is a great happy medium for users. And it's really cool to see everyone thinking like this personally.
Yeah, and I mean, there'd be a lot of people would probably be part of the Tinex community. Obviously, it's always new people, and so they'd be used to the sort of idea. And so that's going to be interesting. Now, probably the key bit is at the moment we started off with only 20,000 tokens, right, of Torus, and that obviously you said something like 76 or more % has already been locked up. But we've got a little people are doing these little creations, maybe just teasing it out a little bit, maybe don't know what they're doing, who knows, or maybe just trying to play the price game. Obviously, I had on the calculator, I had to break even at the moment at $5.60 or whatever the price is of Torus at about 20 days. That's moving around, a couple of days here or there, depending on the price. And so one would argue that generally you would expect that's when you're going to start seeing short miners for people taking the risk on for the price play. What you got any thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, if the prices really start to kick off, it wouldn't shock me. It really does help the protocol for them to do that because, I mean, it's one of those things where I would never ever recommend doing it because you got to know what you're doing and you got to know the timing well, and it's the most high risk of all the maneuvers in the system, but it's probably going to happen. We see it time and time again when any kind of mining protocol really spikes in price. It's inevitable that people are going to take advantage of that. And why wouldn't you? If that's how you like to play the game. So I would think in the next week or two, as people start to understand and it clicks for people what this thing is doing, that people will start playing all sorts of games. and I think the short-term miners will kick up. I think people will, like we were talking about originally, they'll start buying and staking because they don't understand the creation. That's going to push the price up, give people the opportunity to create over shorter periods, and you're going to see some interesting mechanics or some interesting scenarios playing out.
Yeah, so if we see this pick up, because at the moment, like maybe day 28 is when we're starting to see maybe 700,000, which we actually wouldn't move too much the supply numbers really. But like you say, if we do start getting a rally in the price, based on the fact that there's hardly anything coming out that's going to really impact supply all the way up to day 28 at the moment, and even that's going to be modest. I'm just going through that now. I probably absorb all this stuff, to be honest. And we're going all the way up. So I guess if the price starts to rise, then it can pull candles in a bit shorter, right? Then people might, like you say, but you've designed it so that actually the yields are much more supportive of going long, which is a bit different to the maybe Titanx and a few other things that we've experienced already in the ecosystem.
Yep.
So you want to talk to that a little bit, I guess a bit more in depth.
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole design of this is like, I mean, I have studied, I've modeled, I've done so much around the hex system and Hedron Icosa. I'm so in tune with this idea of delayed gratification. I'm also intimately in tune with obviously Titanx. And, when I looked at how the supply mechanics were all working, the idea of delayed gratification, but then also like, how do you help the system support itself? And there was this happy medium, I realized, where if you had a short enough window where people had to constantly go back in, and a BTC style supply where you had like a demand for the supply, right? What you could do is you could create, by using all the little bits and bobs and little mechanics that I've thrown in, like this exponential share stuff and these difficulty mechanics, you could create actually a more extreme delayed gratification system than even Hex that will absolutely crush you if you try to do what people did in Hex. Like, for example, a Dragon X or someone that wants to come in and do rolling stakes and just take advantage of the system, they'll cannibalize themselves and end up giving all their dollar value back to the protocol. So if you want to actually stay relevant in the protocol, you need to go back and forth or not be scraping stuff off the top and just basically doing rolling stakes. The protocol will eat you alive. So it demands that you delay gratification, even more difficult than T-shares, because you get your tokens and then you have to be like, no, I'm going to give them back and I'm going to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah. I like it. So I mean, it's you've made that side of the game a lot more interesting, but the price is going to draw them in, arguably, if we see the continued what we're seeing already early days, and we get this I think pickup that I think both of us are expecting. It could drive some of that behavior. It's going to be interesting, and of course. People are getting that calculator and they're going to go, am I going to try and play the price or really, which is riskier in this tokenomics from my point of view, or am I going to do what the tokenomics encourages me to do and go further? So it's going to be fun to see how this evolves over the next sort of 7 days, 14 days, et cetera. But it's pretty crazy. All right, so that's the big supply chart. So that's a big deal from Mike Dean. So thanks to Mike Dean from that. You got all the measures there, which is pretty cool. I imagine he's also got the daily position unlocked here, so you can sort of see it in more detail with the number of creations as opposed to the volume of tokens coming out, which is pretty cool. Stakes as well. You got a lot of these short stakes here. Does that surprise you at all?
A little bit, because of the cost. Like, if you go to the DApp and you do like a 12-day stake, the cost for a 12-day stake and the deposit plus this Torus is pretty large for any token amount, relatively speaking. So I am kind of surprised, but hey, I'm okay with that because that helps the protocol, and if I'm hoping it's working for people.
Yeah. So just on that note, that people that are stake, like it's just cheaper to create right? That's the thing to do. But people are buying on the market and they are staking. I mean, the staking numbers have been to the upside quite strongly, which is maybe a price play. I don't know. But the other thing is, like, just a reminder, when you do stake, there is a premium to stake, right? With the ETH. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a small fee that's relative to what the creation mechanics are doing. So basically, if you put in 10 billion to create 1,000 tokens, you want to stake 1,000 tokens, you need to pay 5% of what it costs to create those tokens. So in this case, staking for 88 days with 1,000 tokens costs you 500 million Titan X. And that you can do that with ETH as well. But where this gets interesting is when you want to stake shorter, you have to essentially, every time you have the number of days, you double the costs. Wow. So if you go 44 days, it's now 1 billion Titan X to stake 1,000 Torus. If you go 22 days, it's 2 billion, and so on and so forth until, you're for a handful of day stakes, it can get quite expensive.
Right. So now we're starting to sort of move into strategies. We're talking a little bit, but no doubt your best play is to create and go long. If you want the big part of the share pool, maximize your share pool, because that's the other thing, right? That people get shares.
Yep. Oh, 100%. The system is literally designed to be the most extreme delayed gratification system. And it makes it so that if you're selling off and getting rid of tokens for profit, you're going to lose your earning capacity very quickly in the system. And in order to maintain those Torus shares, you need to keep your tokens.
Yeah. That's going to be fun to see that.
Oh, yeah.
So once we get to the end here, because the share rate's going down too, right? Every day.
Exactly. Well, the difficulty of staking those shares, it gets more difficult every single day.
Every day. So that makes it a lot harder to get. So once you get your tokens after your creation period, let's say at the end here, we've got all these, everyone's getting it, whatever that looks like at the end, subject to whoever's come in. That is, you're then going to have to pay this premium to stake those tokens, right? And get whatever the amount of share pool that you're going to get at that time.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it really does encourage maybe even more supply sync, right? If people are going to try and keep those payouts going. Yeah.
Yep.
So for this, let's just do a refresh of this because it may have been updated. Let's have a look here. It's queued, is it? Queued for update?
I think so.
Yeah, queued for update. All right, we might get an update right now. But this is all on TitanX Hub, so you guys can achieve that. And also the portfolio on TitanX Hub, you can paste your wallet in now too, and it will show your Torus position, by the way. So if you've done a whole ton of creations, or whatever you've done, it will show up on that portfolio. Just go over to portfolio and add it in. So I'll post the link to TitanX Hub there too if you guys want to portfolio track it. It's another alternative to the website. And if you've got the rest of your TitanX portfolio, that's the play there as well. So big shout out to Mike Dean once again for that. So that's pretty cool. We'll just wait for that, see if that updates. And I just wanted to go to the price as well. So it's all the way down the bottom here. It's the latest one to launch, number 41. Number 41. It's number one of... anyway, I'll shut up. Let's go to the, the numbers part, the old thing, which I'm not into at all, but I just want to make a joke about it. We're at $5.69, $5.69 at the moment. It's slowly just tracking up there.
Crazy rebound.
Yeah. That is the daily, only 3 days. But if we look at the hourly chart, that is the hourly chart at the moment. So crazy. And essentially, all the early bot snipers and the stuff are all out from what I looked at, essentially. I mean, maybe have a little bit here and there, but so really the price is free to do whatever the market's going to drive it to do.
Yep. I think there's one person that still has like a decent amount of Torus tokens, but they've actually gone and purchased more.
Oh,
and they sold a bit and they went and purchased more. So that was a good sign.
Yeah. So, and more people are hearing about Torus. We're only at the beginning of day 3, essentially.
Yep.
It's going to be fun to see this. And of course, that's going to drive the yields, right? It's going to drive the yields.
Exactly.
And so on. So what are some of your, forward-looking views on Torus?
Well, I mean, it was designed to be a long-term blue chip protocol. I designed if you're looking at these payout pool numbers here, now this scales with price. You got to remember this whole system, as it gets more valuable, the yield gets more valuable. So it's designed with elasticity in mind, reflexivity. It restokes demand just innately within the system. And it was designed to be able to handle billions of dollars at its maturity level. And so that's where I'm aiming with this whole thing. I don't want a protocol that this protocol was not designed to do a handful of $1 million, though that'd be fantastic and it'd be a huge success in and of itself. But it's not designed to just be like a one cycle, one trick pony. Like this, I designed this thing 20 years out into the future to see where that's how long it takes for the whole supply to come out, 20 years. And so I see this becoming more and more of a staple. And that's why, you know, I have Ethereum with Torus, and I will have Unity as well. And I think something to consider, guys, is, you know, how people will participate in Torus, and then when people are seeing Torus, if Torus does really well, how that might relate to Unity. And I would start to think about that, because you might see some opportunities potentially arising between the two of them based on Torus being successful. And I do see Torus, especially as we're stepping into this bull market, starting to really catch some attention. You know, I'm going to be pushing as hard as I can.
Can you, in terms of other tokens, can you do LP webbing with the tokens
You absolutely could.
Build side of it? Yeah.
I don't have any. That's not in the roadmap, because Torus operates best when it is simply just with
Titanx
main pair, right? The less arbitrage that it can have. Like, I mean, you know what? One thing that would be great is if Torus, in a best case scenario, let's say the whole Titanx ecosystem moons and Torus moons way past Titanx. That would be the point to put more liquidity, because at that point, then if you have a ton of extra liquidity when it's at its top, then it's going to be slower on the way down. But if you have it when it's like in the middle point where it needs to go up more, you're actually making it harder for it to go up. So there's a lot around liquidity, and timing is a big factor. But at some point, I think it's going to be more than appropriate to have plenty of liquidity with Torus. But right now, I think it's in its infancy, and it should be just its own pair.
So I guess on that question then is that Jake Sharp's taking the whole Titanx Omni chain. Is there an Omni chain future for Torus?
We'll see. I mean, right now we're just step one, and I have plenty of ideas at the moment.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, you got to see how things evolve, what's needed. You can have an idea, but if it doesn't if it doesn't seem like the market needs it, if the protocol needs it, then why do it? And I will say that nothing's off the table in terms of potential, but it just depends on what it needs.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the other side of Titanx is a third layer protocol on top of Torus?
In terms of like a build on something being built on.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas, and I'm assuming that once people figure this thing out, because it is going to take some time. And I mean, when you spend a year and a half building this thing, I can't expect people to understand it in a few days once it's live. So I'm thinking, you know, give it a week or month, couple months, some ideas might start poking out, some talk might come. But
so keep a lookout for that. Yep. And the third part of it, of course, is Titanx has its own utilities, Ouroboros and Titan Farms. Is there any participation there that you potentially see?
I could definitely see those two being very important aspects of the Torus ecosystem.
Yeah. And then I guess one of the other utilities was kind of the Helios buy side with the dude. I guess they've still got their funds. They're going to get paid out in a couple hundred days with the old Titanx payout. So you guys know what to do, dude. Put it in the index. All right, so
I would welcome you with open arms.
It's going to be interesting to see all that space, right? That's going to be interesting to see all that play out. And then we've obviously got a lot of the devs we talked about earlier, going omni-chain. I think they're moving even away from Basic, and Sonic, I think, is another one they're talking about, or something, some other chain.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one, but
And the Dragon's Horde from Baby Dragon X Scale, they've actually put in a good chunk and openly talked about it on X.
Yeah.
They're participating in Torus as well.
Isn't that awesome? So that's the kind of thing other projects getting in. So it's still early days, guys. I mean, it's only at the beginning of day 3. Everybody is pretty early. You've kind of seen the numbers there. I'm going to post the June dashboard in the chat there as well, so you guys can get access to that. I think I've posted everything else. You posted Mike Dean, so there's another product from Mike Dean. But so one of the other protocols has got into Torus as well. It'll be interesting to see what Crypto Utah and some of the other guys do from Inferno. They may end up looking to try and participate as well, no doubt. So that is the link to the June dashboard. What else we got going on there? I think that's it. So very, very exciting to see where this goes. Let me just jump through some of that. Torus, Titanex. And of course the Titanex has the buy and burn sitting in the background, which has got $13 million in there right now of ETH. So it's got its own magic carpet rise. And then the payouts are still coming for the 8-8 day. It's got another 3.3 million inside that. So, exciting opportunities coming. And then, of course, DragonX, Helios have got big payouts coming out of that too. And they've got their own buy and burn at the moment that's just turned off as well. Hydra's got the buy and burn turned off. So, it's going to be fun. And we're just at the beginning of the bull market. And the one thing I wanted to say to you was, I think you launched on the ultimate day to launch. I think when Bitcoin hits $119,000, and that was such a critical day. I think we're going to look back on that day, and I think, man, I couldn't believe it. I said, this guy's picked the perfect day. I think this is like the perfect signal that you could possibly want to launch on, because we've seen teams launch on some of the worst days.
Right.
And so, yeah, congratulations on that. That was pretty epic.
That was wild, man. Thank you.
All right, so our 10 minutes is now an hour and 6 minutes. So that's how good Torus is, guys. That's how good it is. We 5x'd our stream, which is pretty awesome.
Oh man, I was thinking, I'm like, was it supposed to be an hour and 6 minutes? Like, I'm cool, but like,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, let's also see what happens to the Titanex price as well. Hey, I really appreciate Cryptographics. I'm not going to hold you up too much longer, but feel free to stick around if you want to for the crypto. I'm going to spend probably another 10 minutes on that to wrap up the show. But thank you so much for coming. And look, we're going to have Cryptographics on regularly, hopefully, and to talk about Torus as it goes forward. Because I really do think this is a pretty special project within the Titanex and crypto ecosphere. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is.
All right.
I do have to actually run.
Bounce out, yeah.
I did not think we were going to be talking for an hour and 10, which is fantastic. But
that's all good.
So thank you so much. Appreciate you having me on there, Superman. And
appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. And look forward to day 3, day 4, day 5 results. It's all coming. All right. Take care. See you guys.
All right. See you guys. Thank you.
All right. Let's jump into the mix there. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed that. It was very special from Cryptographics. Appreciated that. And I hope you guys got a lot of insights out of that for sure. Now we're going to get into PulseChain results. So get into the chat there as well. And definitely, we've got all the links to Torus in there. So we're going to jump over to the crypto markets and pick out some of the results there. So let's check that out. We've got Bitcoin, crypto at the moment, 3.7 trillion, down 3.9% on the lazy weekend as usual. We've got 17,656 coins. Bitcoin at the moment holding up $17,400, down 0.2%. We've got number 2, Ethereum, down 0.4%, $2,900. We've got XRP at number 3, flipping old Tether there, but down 0.4% at $2.73. We've got BNB at number 5, down 0.9%, $684. Solana down 1.2%, $160 at number 6. Dogecoin there at number 8 is down 2% at 19.7 cents. Number 9 is Tron, up 0.2% at 30 cents. And then, of course, we've got Lido there sitting at number 10 at the moment. And that's still well ahead of Cardano sitting at number 11. But the big move we've seen also this week is Hyperliquid move up to number 12, flipping the old wrap Bitcoin there. So those are our numbers. Best performer over the last 24 hours essentially been, I guess, Bitcoin itself. I think so. Bitcoin itself is only down 0.2%. Best performer over the last week has definitely been XRP, up 23% at $2.73 there as a winner. But, Dogecoin there, not too bad, up 20%. And then Ethereum up 16.7% over the last week, so not bad there. Some of our big movers in the top 100, let's look at those. Stellar XLM sitting at number 14 is up 65% this week. Story IP at number 88 is up 51%, and Pudgy Penguins is up 50.5%. And of course, I guess we have to mention Bonk been performing very well. It's also up 26%. And number 5 there is H-Bar sitting at number 20, up 27%. So those are our leaders in the top 100. Top 1,000 at the moment, we've got Altcoin, Kyber Network, Crystal, and Graphic Protocols. They're all up and top gainers in the top 1,000. Let's have a quick look at altcoin. It's at number 455, so that's doing pretty well. It's only been around since 9th of July, and that is on the old Solana chain, doing pretty well. We'll have a quick look at the website, altcoin.fun. Everyone likes these fun sites, don't they? So altcoin season, that is doing pretty well. And that is sitting at number 455. So we may see a lot of move on that with the old meme coins just launched. Let's see. And then the other one there, of course, is Kyber Network, which we have seen before. And of course, Kyber Network, they're sitting at number 464.88, down 80% at the moment, but had a little pump today from 31 cents to 56 cents. And that is on the Ethereum chain. And it's a hub of liquidity protocols. So there we go. That's the old Kyber Network. And then finally, we had Graphite Protocol, 58%, and that's sitting at $2.24. And man, that's just got blown up out of nowhere, sitting at, it was about 15, 18 cents, and it's now $2.24. So massive re-rate for that. That's on Solana chain. And let's have a quick look at the robotics. It looks like some sort of robotics. Welcome to Teo there. So yeah, that is up and away. Recent listings there. It's taking a little while to render. But looks like some sort of Teo Robotics was acquired in December 21. So yeah, I'm not quite sure that's all the details. Got a lot of utilities, socials, pilots and robotics. Is that a game? Maybe it's a game. Not sure. It's not showing up there, but that is Teo. Maybe check that out in your own time. But that is ticking away. So yeah, let's have a look at the final marks there. Trending Toncoin. From Telegram, been trending for ages, isn't it? Manu and Bitcoin also trending for quite a bit in the last week or two. And of course, Manu there is trending as well. So there we go. Bitcoin crypto market, 3.7 trillion, down 3.7%. And Bitcoin holding pretty strong at $117,400. So we're sitting very nice to push higher into that 120, 130 range. Let's jump over to the some of the news. So obviously we had the one big beautiful bill that was successful for Trump. And of course, all on the Independence Day. But what we've got coming up this week ahead of us is Crypto Week. And it's a big deal for crypto. We've got the Genius Act coming through. It's going to go to the Senate. And of course, we're expecting a pretty quick pass with that. There are three major there's probably about eight crypto bills going through, but there's three major ones we're expecting Crypto Week. But the first one's going to be Genius Act, and the other ones will probably get deferred a little bit. They're going to go individually rather than all as a packet. But that's going to go to Senate this week. We're expecting that to get billed, and that is massive, right? That is unbelievably massive. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about $2 trillion, maybe $3.8 trillion by 2030. And of course, we could see a massive flood of institutions and government entities there issuing, getting a Treasury-backed US dollar, stable-backed, decentralized coins. And so that's going to be a massive boost. If there's a massive boom in stable coins, which is currently around about $270 billion in the crypto market, then you're talking about that leverage for the rest of crypto, and it could be absolute ginormous boost. And so where crypto could go, it's going to be mind-boggling, really. Excuse me. We got, we were talking about 10x in the crypto market. So we're at 3.7. We're going to go to like 30 to 40 trillion dollars in crypto market. That's kind of some of the implications based on just a linear extrapolation. So yeah, pretty crazy. So Genius bill coming through. Then we're going to have the other bills right around the Clarity Act, and of course we've got the non-CBDC bill as well. So they're going to be probably pushed a little bit later, and we'll probably hear about those, right? So not bad. So bring it on. That's going to be like Monday, Tuesday for that. So keep a lookout. All right, that leads us into PulseChain. PulseChain. So if you haven't followed, of course, smash the follow on X, smash the follow on YouTube. We're streaming to 3 YouTube channels, so just definitely follow and hit the subscribe button. Day 793 since PulseChain launched, and we are sitting here at the moment down 1.4%. We got PulseX down 3.14% at quadruple 0223, with the buy and burn sitting at 7.37%. Ink token $1.60 down 3%, and we got Hex at the moment 5,200 a penny down 8%, and finally EHEX at 800 a penny. Combined price EX to PX is at 0.7 of a penny right now. That is where we are on the mark. We do have a whale in the mix that is selling down Hex, and then we're expecting that to sell down Pulse. So we will get an impact on the chart, potentially up to 2 weeks. So we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes time. Let's have a quick look at the rest of the measures on PulseChain. Gas prices 1.1 million beats, sitting at 1 cent for a PulseX swap. Validators sitting at 52,000. So I think we're down just a bit slightly there, about 60, 70 validators. And the bridge at the moment, $87.6 million. So that's kind of where we are, pretty similar to what we've had the last couple of days. Looking at the bridge data exclusive to the Kryptonite show, we can see that we have had a little bit of recovery after the Iranian stuff, and of course our big PulseX whale, who's now flipped over to be a Hex seller whale, wallet 132. We were down at 4.7 million, and then we sort of had a rally back to 2.2, and then we came down to 3.7 million. This is negative values, so we lose money we're losing over the bridge on timestamp values. And then we kind of had a slow recovery, and we're back down to about 2.45 million negative at the moment. So we're heading in the right direction. So you had a higher lows come in, and so obviously we want to flip this chart and move positive, right? That's where we got positive cash. This is going to be one of our general indicators to where PulseChain is going, barring any, and maybe even give us a little bit of lead in to any God mode candle, those kind of things. But this is kind of where we are at the moment on the old PulseChain. So there we go. Let's have a look at the markets overall. So yeah, $17.7 million. So just slightly less than yesterday. I think we're doing about 18.8 million yesterday. We got about $1 million less. We got transactions down lower, 271,000. And some of the top performers at the moment, we've got Jupiter. It's been around for 9 months. It's up 74%. Peppy, it's been around for 3 days, this new one here, or at least this new peer, Peppy X. But Peppy Pulse, been around for 5 months, up 30%. We got Dogecoin there, is up 23% there at the moment. Another pump tires. And then we've got Treasury Bill there, is up at 9.5%. So yeah, only a few hot movers there at the moment. We've got Secret Conspiracy up 4%, Staked ETH up 2.5%, and then we've got a whole, couple handful there that are up, less than 1% there. So not a lot of movers today on PulseChain. We are expecting some big news coming out of SolidX in the short term. We just had, of course, the Solid Trading Bot. If you haven't, tried to get that, definitely check out my profile. You can join up on Telegram for that. And of course, we've got lots of other things happening here. So we're just waiting patiently for quite a few things to launch. So that's kind of the play. But I did want to get in on Hex because we've got this big whale. We've got CryptoSolve's been putting out some pretty nice little comments about that. So we've got KS2 in house there. What is this? Hex is much better and would be 10,000x higher right now. Well, we're going to talk about Hex right now. So it's going to, in the short-term pain before long-term gains. We got lots of premature bullish speculation about these wallets. The wallets are essentially large whale on PulseChain, on the top sacrifices from the looks of it, that was selling, mining Hex and all the other stuff. But are selling out their positions and PulseX, Hex, and everything else. So we've got a few weeks of pain that we've been enduring, and obviously a few more weeks potentially left. So even though we've defeated the SEC, we've got to get through this whale sale, and of course that means a redistribution of coins. So as opportunities abound over probably the next week or two to pick up Hex, at a good price. So we've got lots of premature bullish speculation around these wallets as they've dumped 184 million of their 660 million PHEX so far. But we're here to remind you of what's still to come. We've included the pre-dump in these figures as that's directly related. US dollar price of Hex has gone down 20%, but the Hex pulse ratio is down 27%. Doesn't seem so bad, right? But remember, there's still 476 million Hex to go, and this dumper has been consistent. So once they do move the wallet, the stuff into this wallet, they do sell it within a short space of time, typically 24 hours. But in this case, they may take a few days to do it. He's only dumped 28% so far, and that's still a lot of the dip to buy, right? So the rest of the market's redistributing, but it's putting downward pressure on price. So maybe KSO2 can pick up some with these opportunities. Once he's done dumping the Hex, the pain is over, right? No, remember, he's still going to dump all of the pulse he's acquired. So remember that. That'll probably end up being roughly 3 million worth of pulse, a little under half of what he dumped from the PulseX dumping extravaganza, which we covered in the week before, right? The wider the ecosystem, prices have been saved from the pain so far because the bulk of the damage is just Hex pulse ratio. But once the pulse hits the market, the full extent of selling will rear its ugly head. So that is potentially a couple of tough weeks ahead for us. He also has 660 million EHEX on the Ethereum side. So I think, I'm not sure if that's on the Ethereum side, actually, I'll double check that. But whilst he's likely to dump that over on Ethereum, yeah, so that would be true. That's what we have seen the whale do. It's still dragged PHEX and ultimately Pulse price down due to arbitrage and how the liquidity dynamics works over on PulseChain. That's likely to be another $1 million of sell pressure. So you're talking about $4 million there. What's the TLDR? PX is in for quite a bit more pain, which means for those that are bullish on Hex, this is a good opportunity to pick up some while a big whale is redistributing. The full price impact has been delayed because so far it's mostly ratio dumping. Once PLS dumps, it drags the rest of the ecosystem down with it. There's likely to be 4 million of wider ecosystem price impact yet to happen. What's the good news? At this pace, we'll be done within a fortnight. Lots of people rotated out of Hex into Pulse, other cores or stables nearing the end of the dump. The reversal may well be swift and violent. So it could be some pretty awesome opportunities within the next week or two with the selling and then potential relief rally after that, right? This is by far the single largest bags of concern we've been watching. The dumping at these levels is great news for the long-term health of the ecosystem. All in all, this is a short-term pain for long-term gain. Just don't get too excited just yet. You've got a few more weeks to DCA at these levels. So that there was from CryptoSolve. So another good run up there based on building on the last one that he did. So it was CryptoSolve there. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. I'll post the link to that. And he's got other posts, related posts there as well. So check that out. So Hex Whale. And this is the same account, right? So 132. Let's post that in the chat there quickly. I said 2 minutes. Everything takes longer today. Everything takes longer. All right, so that is the link. Let's jump over to the chart. So this is the Hex chart at the moment. So you can see that downward shift in prices. This is on the hourly chart. So you can see this downward shift here. We've got the big volumes coming in with there. So 200,000. So we've had 1.2 million in volume. What's the sell volume? Sell volume has been 667, so a 40k difference. And it's drawn down Hex on PulseChain down by 8.8%. So there's going to be obviously people trying to buy to offset, but that is the play. Let's have a look at the accounts. We can actually see the accounts selling. This is this one here, wallet 132, and you can see all of its sales, right? Bam, 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 bam. There's all the sales. I did the calculate over 10k. So we can see 8 hours ago 57,000, 48,000, 13 hours ago 10, 16. So just selling out 3.5 million lots at the time, and so on. So just started off selling. Where's this wallet gone? Started selling 10 million. Started selling out there, but we also had another account, 62D. I'm not sure if that was related, but that was selling out a few million as well. But really, the big amounts coming from this big wallet here. And if we go to Frinkabel and look at the portfolio, we can actually see this is the amount that's still got 1.6 million in this wallet. This is the daughter wallet address too, and there's still 33 billion Pulse sitting in there. And so that's currently worth $1 million, that Pulse alone, and then Hex is worth 626,000 here as well on PulseChain. And the other Hex must be on the other side, and of course they have a parent address as well. So 55555. He couldn't say it better, DG and Hexkin. So that is the big whale at the moment. So big shout out to CryptoSolve there for the coverage. And what else? I think there was another thing that was pretty interesting. Atropa. Turns out that CryptoSolve's been tracking Atropa with James Maria. Obviously, there's a big community in PulseChain, just like PewDie, that supports this ecosystem. However, they've been tracking that Maria seems to be, based on their analysis, seems to be siphoning the system out and has been taking money out via USD Tether and off-ramping out of PulseChain as well. So a little over 530k USD has been off-ramped over the last 8 weeks, with another 250k tokens transferred today. We can only assume the number will continue to steadily grow. And this is the thing, if people believe in the system, they're going to plow money into the system, always thinking they're getting a discount, but they actually they take the money out of the system, right? It's because they take your money. So just make sure that you're in, quality assets that you can believe in, and so on. So, and we'll have to ride through some of these antics, it seems, before we get moving forward there. So that's another post there as well around Atropa. And of course, James Maria's protocols there. So you can decide about that. But that is the evidence from CryptoSolve. And it's been providing some pretty good insighting. He's just rebalancing the pools, as the old nature there. So you can decide on that. All right, so there we go. That is a little bit of insights in some of the whale moves, the old PulseChain, which is probably going to give you some opportunities over the next few weeks. But there are a lot of good quality protocols to get into in tokens. So just got to make sure you do due diligence and get into the right stuff, right? Can't do too wrong going with the cause, but it seems like with the Hex, you're going to get a bit of an opportunity over the next week as we get redistribution from the whale. All right, and then maybe August is on to glory in August, and then interest rate cuts in September, and then maybe some God mode candles on the way. Keep a lookout, folks. Keep a lookout. But it'll probably be after these whales sell, no doubt. All right, that is where we are with the markets. So I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. We spent, an hour and 6 minutes on Torus from Titanx, from Cryptographics, another PulseChain Titanx crossover, but now a developer and founder as well. Pretty awesome stuff. And I'm very excited about where that might go to. Obviously, PulseChain, we've got more discount sales on for another week or two, and then looking for some glory after that, eh? That's the way we're going to, I think, play it out. DJ Hicks says, geez, I'm late. You are, yeah. But I've gone for an hour and 26 minutes, which is just, pretty amazing. So if you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget daily at 8 p.m. Eastern daily. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 different YouTube channels. And of course on X, don't forget to smash that follow, heading back up to 1,000 followers. So we just crossed over 900. So thank you very much for everybody that supports. We're having to rebuild the channel. As you guys know, my old channel was pulled down by X for no good reason. But we're just to get back on the horse and climb back up again, right? And then ride off into the sunset or something like that. So that's pretty much it. All right. If you haven't joined our strategy club, only $35 a month. Links in the video description. And of course, if you haven't joined our Discord as a community member, that's $12.50 a month. So get in there as well. We've got lots of cool things. What else? We've got the Telegram. That's for free. So join up to that as well. And we'll see you guys in Hexaco, as we say, in Hexaco. PulseChain Animal. I see ya. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. See ya. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let's leave it out with some bullish commentary, shall we? I think we've got some cool videos. So let's see if we can play that out on the way up. What do we got here? We got anything cool on that one? Yeah, we'll play out the Bitcoin halving, shall we, on the way out there. Some of the potential upside on Bitcoin, and of course that one flat crypto as well. The perfect alignment, it seems. Yeah, stablecoin boom this week. It's going to be pretty fun. All right, take care. I'll see you on the next show. Bye for now.
You should really look at the pattern of Bitcoin after a halving. So here's a little Bitcoin price analysis for you guys. So there's been a couple of halving cycles that have happened. And I asked him to go back and look at the price performance 1 month after a halving, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and 18 months after a halving. And what you notice is that there are these moments initially where essentially when you go through a Bitcoin halving, people are sort of reassessing what's happening and they're trying to figure it out. That's sort of what I would say happens in the first month, and roughly what also happens in the first 3 months. But then within 6 months to a year and 18 months of these things, there are these crazy price appreciation cycles that happen. So that's what this page shows, which is, 18 months after the first halving, the Bitcoin price returned 45x. After the second halving, it returned almost 28x. And after this third halving, it returned almost an 8x, which is really incredible returns in such a short period of time. If you go to the next page. And so if you graph that, this is what it starts to show, which is what is this price performance after each of these halving cycles. Now, why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because on top of this halving, which theoretically, if history is a guide, we should see some price appreciation. Obviously, the other thing that's happened is we've commercialized Bitcoin. And we talked about this sort of as my big prediction for 2024, which is these ETFs are really going to allow Bitcoin to cross the chasm and have its sort of central key moment, right? And so if you apply the averages, and again, these are just averages, they're by no means predictions. Okay, so I just want to qualify that.
Yeah,
these are
this
just
is not financial advice.
It's not financial advice. These are just guesses.
Data.
We took these and we applied it to the price of Bitcoin. And if you go to the next page, you start to see what could happen if you just take the average of the last few cycles. So because the first cycle was so extreme, and you start to
so you're just doing cycle 2 and 3 here, to be clear.
Just the averages of cycle 2 and 3, and what you start to see is some really meaningful appreciation. And when I talked to Wences about this, how he explained it, which makes a lot of sense to me, is there are a lot of countries that will never look at Bitcoin credibly, even if they support it. The US may be one of those, but there's an increasing body of countries that will become dual currency. And they will look at their local currency, and then they will look at Bitcoin. And they will say both of these two things are needed. One, when you're transacting on a daily basis for random goods and services. And two, when you need to buy a permanent asset that needs to have residual value, you'll use something like BTC. And I think that's a very powerful concept. And if you look at what this price chart could indicate, is that if this thing starts to get to these levels of appreciation, it is going to completely replace gold and start to become